Losing someone you love. It's one of life's really profound experiences, isn't it? There's that quiet ache that just lingers, sometimes for years, and alongside it, this really deep desire to keep their memory close, keep it vibrant for, generations. We've had our ways, old photo albums, stories told at family dinners, physical monuments, but things are definitely changing now. So
Yeah.
today, we're doing a deep dive into something pretty fascinating: how memorial websites are really transforming the way we honor and connect with those who've passed on, keeping their spirit alive.
It's a really important shift. And the sources we're drawing on today, they come from a perspective that sees grief differently, not as something to be rushed, or just gotten over, more like a journey where that connection, it can actually continue, it should endure.
Exactly. So our mission for this deep dive is basically to unpack this whole concept of digital memorials. I want to highlight what makes them unique and understand how they offer this really personal, often healing, and definitely lasting way to remember someone. Okay, let's unpack this then. If someone's thinking about creating one of these sites, where do they even start? What's the first step?
That's a great question. And what's really insightful from the research is that it starts with a person. You're really encouraged to think, okay, what made them them?
Okay.
Their passions, how they spent their time, the moments that really defined who they were. Then, practically speaking, you begin with some foundational bits.
Hmm.
Maybe a short biography, just in your own words,
Mhm.
a timeline of important life events, perhaps, and just a few favorite photos to start.
Okay.
And the key is flexibility. There's really no single right way to do it. You could write a lot, or maybe just let the pictures tell the initial story. What's fascinating is how this first collection starts to become a kind of visual journey through their life. It's that first step.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. A visual journey. I like that.
Yeah.
And here's where I think it gets really interesting with memories aren't just still photos, right? These digital spaces, they let you capture so much more. What kinds of different media are people using?
Oh, the range is pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah.
You've got the photos,
Yeah.
of course, from all stages of life,
Yeah.
childhood snaps, big milestones, but also just those, everyday moments, candid shots.
Right.
But then you can add videos. Think about capturing their laugh or just the way they move, their voice.
Mhm.
And speaking of voice, actual voice recordings, maybe a favorite story they used to tell, or even old voicemails you saved.
Wow. Voicemails.
Yeah, and it even goes to keepsakes, things you can scan like old letters, maybe artwork they did, or even cherished family recipes. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it shows how these varied media let you engage with memory differently. It's not just looking at something. It's hearing a voice again, seeing them move, reading their own handwriting maybe. It kind of activates different parts of memory, different parts of the grief process too. It can help you feel their presence, maybe even more deeply, like sharing a simple memory on your dad's birthday right next to an old video.
Hmm.
It shows grief doesn't just erase joy.
That multisensory idea, that's really powerful, hearing their voice again. And that kind of leads naturally to another really powerful part of these sites, inviting other people to contribute. It stops being just your private collection, right? It becomes more of a shared space. How does that collaboration work?
You're exactly right. The collaborative part is huge. It's transformative. Our sources really highlight how family and friends can actively participate. They can chip in, they can upload their own photos, maybe videos you've never seen.
Oh, interesting.
They could record short voice messages, sharing a specific memory, or just write down a few thoughts. And they can leave words of comfort for others who visit the site too. It creates this interactive, supportive environment.
That sounds incredibly connecting. But I do wonder, is there ever a downside? Like, could having too many voices maybe dilute the main memory? Or maybe introduce conflicting views?
That's a really insightful question. It's definitely something people might think about. But the beauty of these platforms is often in their flexibility. And usually the person who creates it can sort of um, curate the contributions if needed. But honestly, the overwhelming feeling we get from the research is positive. Hearing someone else's story about the person, seeing a side of them you maybe didn't know through someone else's eyes, that's usually seen as this beautiful, profound gift.
Oh, okay.
It tends to enrich the collective memory rather than dilute it. It can reveal things you never knew, making the whole tribute feel even fuller, more complete.
Right, I can see that. A gift, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And we know that grief, well, it isn't linear, is it? Healing takes time, it ebbs and flows. How do these sites actually support that kind of winding journey? Do you have to, like, finish it all at once?
Oh, not at all. That's a core concept, actually. The site
Mhm.
doesn't need to be finished right away or ever, really. It's designed to grow, to evolve right alongside you in your grief journey.
Hmm.
So you can add new memories whenever they surface. Maybe you find an old photo tucked away somewhere,
Hmm.
or you want to record your thoughts on, say, their birthday or an anniversary. You can add that. There's a really compelling point made in the source material about this. A memorial site isn't really about closure. It's about connection.
Connection, right.
And connection doesn't just stop because someone is physically gone.
Hmm.
So the site becomes this living, ongoing tribute. It reflects that remembrance itself changes and evolves over time.
A living tribute. That's a powerful way to put it. Okay, so what does this all mean then? For someone who's maybe listening and thinking, this sounds amazing, but also overwhelming, especially during a difficult time. Is there practical help available? How do you actually do this without it feeling like another huge task?
That's such a critical point. And yes, the resources we looked at absolutely address this. Services are popping up specifically designed to, as they put it, take the weight off your shoulders.
Okay, good.
Think of it like turnkey simplicity. They guide you step by step.
Mm.
You really don't need any special design skills or technical know-how. These platforms are built specifically for this kind of media-rich storytelling, pulling together all those things we talked about: photos, videos, voice notes, scanned items.
Right.
And some have really fascinating features, like using AI for automated tribute videos. It can take the photos you upload and create a time-synced video montage for you. No editing skills needed.
Wow, really?
Yeah. And they often use smart ways to organize everything, maybe grouping content by time periods or by the people involved or places, so you can build it gradually, piece by piece, when you feel up to it. And crucially, they give you control over privacy. You decide if it stays completely private or if you open it up to invite family and friends to see it and contribute.
That control seems important.
Very. They facilitate that collaboration we mentioned. But the main message, the one really underscored in the material, is this. It's not about having the perfect words right away or finding that one perfect photo on day one. It's just about starting whenever you feel ready. Because their story, it deserves to be remembered. Not just now, but, always.
This deep dive, it's really opened my eyes to how these memorial websites offer such a modern, evolving, really deeply personal space. For remembrance, yes, but also for connection and even shared grief. It's about having this curated, accessible place for those precious memories, keeping their story alive in a really dynamic way.
Exactly. And hopefully for you listening, this exploration has given you a clearer sense of how powerful these newer approaches can be. It's a compelling example, really, of how understanding these evolving tools and technologies can genuinely transform something as fundamental as how we remember and honor loved ones.
Absolutely. It makes you think, given the potential we're seeing now with these digital memorials, what other forms of connection and remembrance might emerge in the future? As technology keeps offering us new, maybe even more immersive ways to honor the people who shaped our lives. Something to ponder.